Okay, great.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started. So, my name is Ansh, and I'll be your instructor for this course on Power Automate Desktop. Before we get started, about me, um, my entire career so far has been on RPA itself. So, I started with Blue Prism, then moved on to Automation Anywhere, and then finally Power Automate. It has been more than 8 years now with RPA and more than 5 years in Power Automate. So over the next few lectures, over the entire course that we'll be covering on this, we'll be looking into why are we doing this? First of all, why are we taking a step towards RPA? Is it really that beneficial? And why are we choosing Power Automate out of all the other tools that are currently available? And once we discuss about Power Automate, there would be distinct differences between Power Automate Desktop, there would be cloud flows, schedule flows, and a lot many things. All right, and once our entire lecture for today is done, I'll be taking up some questions, and yeah, we'll be move on with that. And during the explanation on each of these slides that I'm about to present, it would be great if I could get little bit feedback from you guys upon every topic that I'll be covering in this lecture. So just a random thumbs up from your side would be fine. So are we good to start? Can I have some thumbs up from the people here?
Uh, we have heard with this much.
Hey, that wasn't clear. I'll be taking all the questions at the end. Yeah, great. I just wanted the emote. Yeah, thanks, guys. All right, let's start with this. So, all right, we are starting with Power Automate Desktop. So, the first thing that we'll be discussing about is what is RPA. I know most of us are somehow related to this technology, and there are people who are very new as well. So, for people who are new to this, I would just explain it in the simplest words possible. So, basically, any human action that you do in your daily job or even in your personal work on your computers, maybe it's related to clicking buttons, typing any information, just logging in into some portal or anything. If it's a specific rule based task that you are following and it does not require any intelligent judgment at your part, that is what we can utilize as a part of an RPA process. A simple example would be if we copy some data from Excel spreadsheet into a company's web portal, we can automate this directly and no one would have to do any kind of manual data entry. So ideally, everyone knows about robotics process automation, but to still simplify it further, it's just that it's process automation. If we have a recipe of how to cook something, it will be done automatically through a piece of code. As simple as that, that would be RPA in the simplest words. Now, if we talk about the benefits of RPA, okay, so you don't need to understand each of these points exactly. Just think of it like if you were supposed to do something manually and it was a routine task that you had to do every day, and then think of several other people who are doing it every day. Now, when you are going to implement that entire day's work through RPA, it will be happening within minutes or hours instead of entire 8-hour jobs. So, talking about a single person, if he automates his task, he might be saving hours of his work. And when you scale it up to multiple people, that's when you see the actual benefit of RPA bots. So, if we talk about efficiency, like whenever we implement any RPA solution, we get the task completed 3 to 5 times faster than the manual processes. And generally, the human job, like we generally do like 9 to 6 job, maybe 9 hours or 8 hours. But a bot can run 24/7 without any breaks or any errors. So that really efficient. Talking about accuracy, yeah, there can be and there are 100% chances of having human errors whenever you are doing any data entry job or any kind of repetitive task. So don't be confused with the word data entry here. What it actually means is any routine based task that we generally do. That is what we are referring to data entry here. So whenever you are entering anything on the web portal, or maybe you are reading some emails, replying to those emails, anything that is repetitive, there are chances of human errors in that. But RPA, because it's all rule based and there are bot calculations that we already do before performing any action, so we can say that yeah, it's really consistent and highly accurate. Talking about cost savings, so a person can do a job in 8 hours and can be charged for each hour. There are freelancers, there are people working in a company which will be who will be charged at an hourly rate or a daily wage. But when we deploy a bot, when we deploy any automation through any of the RPA tools, the operational costs get reduced, not exactly by 30%, can be much more than that, because then the manual work would be something that is of higher importance rather than the routine task. And you can just deploy a bot on any specific virtual machine. It will continue running. You can schedule it, you can trigger it as per your wish. You don't need to rely on any person or his or her availability to do the job. So yes, definitely cost savings is one of the biggest factors that we are seeing in RPA. RPA is not a new tool. It has been here for more than a decade now. But yeah, it is getting more and more refined and getting integrated with AI. So cost savings are a huge factor. Talking about scalability, so you don't need to hire more people for doing a specific job if the job set is fixed. What I mean by that is, suppose there is a routine based task and you need 10 people to do that job. Now, if you get one bot created for that job and you can run it 10 times, the work that you did was just once, and all that you need are some virtual machines where you're going to schedule those bots. Now, it was a very small set when I say 10 people, but suppose there are tasks where you have to keep on hiring people to do that job, but the automation itself can be scaled up to multiple virtual machines where you are just running the same bot that you have any time of the day and at as many places that you want to. So scalability in terms of RPA is much more great. It is exponential, I should say, in comparison to what we have with manual work. And then finally, yes, employee satisfaction. You can free your teammates from all the mundane tasks that they do. And they can focus on more creative work, more strategic work, and plan on things that really matter instead of the daily boring tasks that they were doing. So far, I hope it was pretty basic for everyone. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone in the call? I'll just wait for the confirmation process. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, guys. Okay, moving ahead, I'd like to question myself, and I'd like to answer why we are doing this. Okay, so why are we choosing Power Automate at the first place? Why? So people who are in RPA already, they must be working on some or the other RPA tool, maybe Automation Anywhere, some may be working on UiPath. It's pretty famous. Then why are we choosing Power Automate Desktop over that? And people who are not into RPA, they need to know why to use Power Automate Desktop as their first RPA tool. So let's talk about that quickly. So firstly, let's talk about why are we automating anything. Okay, so on a personal level, so if you are a person who works in any kind of job, this RPA as a technology, and right now we are talking about Power Automate, can boost your personal productivity. So think about your daily job. So there must be a lot of repetitive tasks that you do every day. Maybe logging into a website, grabbing some value, taking a screenshot, replying to emails. Even though it takes like 20 minutes, 25 minutes to do that activity, you still might be saving a lot of time on a daily basis if you consider this. So there are people who spend half a day every month just creating folders and organizing files. But once it is automated, it can become a single button click code kind of thing. So there are firms that use a lot of time rolling over files from one financial year to the other. But now it all of that can be done through instant automations. Okay, so the more of these simple routine tasks that you automate, the more time you will be freeing up from your daily job. Even if you save like 20 to 25 minutes on a personal level. So RPA automations can go up to a huge bot level where you're making really complex logics, really complex business scenarios, be it working with Citrix automations, with SAP. There are a lot of things. Right now, I'm talking about personal level. So people who are new to RPA, even if you save 20 to 30 minutes a day, that you can put up to some more valuable work, I should say, by choosing RPA in your daily jobs. Like when I say daily jobs, like you were doing something manually every day, you don't have to take any license or anything. You just have Power Automate desktop installed on your machines. Everyone has it. If you're using Microsoft Windows 10 or 11, you have Power Automate. You can check it right now during class. Okay, and you can utilize this powerful application for automating anything that you want for your daily jobs. Now coming on a more professional level other than the personal part. So suppose there is a company with a lot of workers. Okay, so even if a person makes a very simple automation of reading an Excel file, uh, reading through each cell of an Excel file, then loading everything to the any kind of portal, generating some reports, replying back to emails. Suppose this entire task was for 30 minutes if the person is really super fast in doing everything. If he does it with RPA, it might take hardly 8 minutes or 10 minutes. So sounds like you're saving 20 minutes on a person, but when you see for that entire team or for that entire organization, it would be hundreds or thousands of coworkers. On that level, anyone can understand, okay, this is going to be highly beneficial. It's better to schedule these routine tasks through RPA. Now, Power Automate is one of the best tools because it can easily integrate with many other office tools. So we got why RPA is important on a personal level or a professional level. But when we say why just Power Automate instead of other RPA tools, these are the answers. Okay. Firstly, people who are non-technical, who are in a different kind of job where they are not into RPA, if they are not into any coding related job, they can also utilize Power Automate Desktop. This is a drag and drop interface. That means almost negligible programming experience is required. Even if you have basic logics on how to create conditions, basic English language logic also, if you have, you can easily start working on Power Automate Desktop. And then when we talk about Microsoft integration, what we actually refer to is that Power Automate, since it is a tool from Microsoft, it can easily integrate with any other Microsoft tool like Office 365, Teams, Excel, Outlook, SharePoint. There are a lot of Microsoft applications out there. So even when we create small cool projects at our end, we suppose it's a very simple HR job or just a good employee in your company. He wants to give everyone a daily motivational quote. He can easily use any free API to get or generate any motivational quote, or maybe he can use Google Gemini API to generate a new motivational quote every day, schedule that bot, and integrate it to Microsoft Teams, and then send that emotional quote, that motivational quote every day to all the team members. So even for basic tasks, creative tasks, anything you want to automate, it's really ideal to choose Power Automate Desktop whenever you are working on any organizational level. Of course, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and other RPA tools have third-party connectors to integrate Microsoft Office 365 and other Microsoft tools. But since Power Automate is integrated internally with Microsoft, being a Microsoft tool, the connection is very smooth for Power Automate. All right, that was the answer to why we are doing this. But another question is, what exactly are we going to learn? So fine, like some people are might have made up their minds that okay, we have to learn Power Automate Desktop, but what exactly are we going to learn, and is it just one single thing that we are actually going to cover in this entire course? Answer to that is understanding what is Power Automate Desktop. So easily I can show you one of the windows that I have right now on my one of the application windows that I can quickly share. So if you can see this on your screen, everyone, this is what we call as Power Automate Desktop. But this is not all. You can create a new flow here. You can use various connector. There are some inbuilt tutorials also on what you have to do. But this is not all. So what I actually mean when I say what is Power Automate Desktop is it is part of Microsoft's Power Automate platform. Yeah, we know that it's no code, but Power Automate on a higher level is divided into two parts. One is cloud flows and one is desktop flows. Let's take a minute to understand what exactly is going on here. Okay, because both are really important and both are about to be covered in our entire course. So when we say Power Automate platform, it is a family of tools. It includes cloud flows, business process flows, desktop flows, and then there are Power BI, Power Apps, a lot of things. Okay. But right now, as per this current course, we are focusing on two important things that are Power Automate cloud flows and Power Automate desktop flows. So let's understand on a higher level what these things are. So Power Automate cloud flow, when I say, okay, Power Automate cloud flow, think of them as a bridge between various Microsoft services, not applications, services. So there are cloud-based services like SharePoint, we have Outlook, Teams, and so on. So whenever you have to make any automation or a process flow that involves Microsoft servers connecting to different services, we will be using cloud flows. What this means is we are not going to perform any desktop related functionality whenever we are creating a cloud flow. It will have multiple connectors to different API based things like if you have to make any HTTP calls or anything. Okay, all those things, um, even involving loops, involving variables, all those things will be covered in cloud flows. And benefits of Cloudflow include facts like you don't need a desktop to run a Cloudflow. It will be running online. You don't need any virtual machine or anything to trigger to run our Cloudflow. But when we talk about desktop flows, this actually runs as an application on your PC. You can automate all the files that are present in your folders and everything. You can give access to your basic desktop and everything. You can run apps, you can run browsers, and you can automate them. You can use UI automation and everything. This actually runs on your local machine and it needs desktop interactions, files, folders, legacy applications, local Excel workbooks, and anything that you normally do with a mouse and keyboard. That comes under desktop flow. So, Power Automate overall is a Windows application that lets you design and run any kind of cloud flow or desktop flow, or even a combined format of these. So you can integrate a cloud flow with a desktop flow. You can create a cloud flow that triggers a desktop flow. So there are a lot of connections between them. So in this course, we will focus on both of these, and hands-on techniques on automating real-world tasks. Will be diving deep into various actions that are provided with cloud flows and desktop flows, and we'll be mastering everything that is related to any cloud environment and anything that runs locally on your machine. So this was kind of an in-depth, detailed example. So people, can I get a thumbs up if everything till here is clear to everyone?
Yes, all good.
Perfect, perfect. Thanks. All right, moving on. This is a sample example of an RPA flow. Okay, be it any automation tool. This is just an example. I would like to just explain what we are doing here. Uh, this is a sample example of what we can create when we are working through Power Automate, and this can be done with any RPA tool. But if you have stuff related to Microsoft applications, it's better to use Power Automate, and that is what we'll be doing in our course going forward. So suppose you have to monitor Outlook for any email detection. Again, Outlook is a Microsoft application. It works really good with this. You have to check your new emails for some PDF attachments. Okay, then you have to save those PDF attachments to a designated folder. Then you have to open those PDF attachments to perform some OCR activity and extract few details like amount, date, what kind of vendor, account number, anything. Then you have to do some data entry job where you have to write the extracted data directly into an Excel tracking sheet and then send either an email or a Teams message to the relevant business person. So suppose this is the process that you have to make. Through Power Automate, there would be a set of procedures that you will have to follow. We can say call it an algorithm. So we will start with opening the Outlook as a session. We will try to read all the unread messages. We will try to extract the attachments. Then we will try to save that attachment into a folder on your desktop. Then we will be using various kinds of OCRs, Windows OCR, Tesseract OCR to extract those invoice details. Everything will be covered in our lectures. We will mark different fields as per the data that we have extracted from the invoice. Finally, these these extracted data would be present either inside a data table or maybe inside some variable. So we'll be taking all that and writing it down through an we might be looping through an Excel sheet, and we'll be loading everything row wise into an Excel sheet. And finally, we'll be having a connector with the Teams for that same account. Yeah, the same account with which you are creating the bot, you will have to use for logging into the Teams, and then you will be sending a Teams message or an email as per your requirement. So this is just a random example of what generally people do in Power Automate or any other RPA tool, but it's not limited to such examples. It can go to various kind of browser based automation, image based automations where you're actually working on a virtual machine. You don't have access to that actual application, but you have to still automate it. Mainframe and SAP related tasks, and then maybe some ServiceNow related activities. Everything is possible through Power Automate as well. And yes, if it's Microsoft based services, it's even better. All right. Now let's get started and let's understand a little bit about the Power Automate desktop actions. So install Power Automate desktop. It is free. And if you check right now, most of you might be already having it. If not, we'll be sharing a link with you guys. So you can, if your Windows, you're running, your operating system is currently Windows 10, it might not be installed, but if it's 11, it's definitely installed on your machine. You can just search for Power Automate. You'll be able to see that. If not, we'll be sharing a link. And then there are a lot of pre-made templates for common business scenarios. You can directly utilize them. If not, you can use recorders, different kinds of recorders and different actions, and you can start running your automation. So let's have a look at Power Automate Desktop quickly. So we just had a look few minutes back on this screen. So there are some examples here already. Okay, so that you can go through if you want. If there is something that you have in mind and it's already present here, directly start working on that. There are tutorials. There are a lot of things here. There are links to documentation and everything. However, let's start with our first flow that I was talking about. I just called it first flow. This is just for everyone to get familiar with what Power Automate Desktop actually looks like. What are the various actions that you might be able to utilize? So in front of you is the actual Power Automate Desktop window. Whatever you will be creating would be coming here. On the left hand side of this is the left panel, you will be seeing a lot of actions here. If you open any one, you have something called variables, different kinds of variables. You have, you can set a variable, you can increase variable, you can create lists and anything. There are details related to JSON related things, generating random numbers, then a lot of list operations and everything. Whenever you have to create something, you just have to click and drag and drop. This is how this would look like. Suppose I have to create a new variable, I called it 123. I'll just save it. The action looks correctly here. If I have to save my flow, I'll just click on save. Now, as I created this new variable called new var, it is automatically reflected in the flow variable section over the right here. So you will be seeing all the variables that you will be creating would be showing up here. If this task is being called by any other task, you will be seeing input output variables over here. I'll take it a little bit slow. Uh, this is kind of an overview of how this looks like. There are various actions here, conditionals like if else, switch cases over here. Then people who are familiar with loops, you have different kinds of loops. Generally, it starts with for each item in a list or data table. Then generally iterates over a block of actions. Then if it's a while loop kind of scenario where you have a condition, you can exit, you can next loop. This is actually the continue statement that we have. Flow control, this is related to your flow. If you want to stop a flow, you can wait in within a flow, you can exit from a flow, everything related to that. Run flow, if you want to run another desktop flow that you have created and it's within the same environment that you are working on. A lot of things, like if you talk about scripting, files, waiting for file to get present in the folder, copying files, moving files, writing to a file, folders, UI automation, an important topic where you will be working on different applications. This is related to APIs. Browser automation, another very important topic where you will be working on browsers. You will be inspecting various elements and creating different connections. Like you will be creating some UI elements. So I'll be talking about UI elements in just a minute. Excel based, again, very important. Word database and so on. There are a lot of things here, and mostly you whatever you want to build would fall into one of these categories. And if there is something that you feel like it's not present in Power Automate, so suppose someone has to solve a very difficult mathematical equation, and within Power Automate you are not able to see options to do any mathematical equation. Suppose you have to convert something from Celsius to Fahrenheit, or random example, okay, differential equation or anything, then you can utilize the commands for scripts here. You can maybe write PowerShell script, or maybe you can write Python script. So we also have the option to write scripts here. Yeah, all these kinds of scripts are also internally and externally supported within Power Automate. Now there are two more sections here. So if you see, this was variables, this already opened up. Another thing is UI elements. So this is related to any UI element that you are capturing from an application or a browser. Then again, if you are working on any Citrix based automation, then there are images. So you can capture any image and you can perform various kinds of threshold activity, like you can set the threshold of your images and everything. Lot of image pre-processing before you actually start with the automation. All those things are defined here in basically three categories. So you can call these as internal variables itself, like generally input output variables, flow variables. Then it's ideal to call them UI elements, but these are also in one way or the other they are variables only, containing more like a element, and then image variables up here. After a particular automation is created, you can run it. Here you can set the run delay. what kind of delay you want while it is running. So I'll just get a very, very simple automation of just printing whatever we have done. So we have the variable called newware. I'm creating a message box here. I'll just say this message display box. And what I have to display, I can select from the variable. So again, this symbol is for variables, everywhere same. I'll just select the variable. Important thing to observe over here is that whatever variable name you have, it is always between these two percentile symbols. So that is how we denote a variable within Power Automate. Now you can look into these different options here. You can close the message box automatically after 3 seconds, and there are some variables produced. You have some on error actions as well. A lot of things that we'll be covering. So for now, I'll just save this flow and I'll just run it. It's a very simple flow. You guys can try better and a bit more complicated flows at your end. Yeah, okay. It was there for 3 seconds. It came on my different screen. Just a second. Let me rerun this. Okay, simple. Message display box. Value here is 123. That's it. So this was kind of an overview on what Power Automate Desktop is. And people who are watching this session, you guys can see if it's already installed. You can explore the built-in templates and you can get started with your actions and test and refine your bots. All right. Talking about how to start working on these things, start with simple repetitive tasks before actually going into complex scenarios. Learn Power Automate first and then compare it with other tools, because in the earlier sections, earlier lessons, you might feel that okay, this could have been done easily with Automation Anywhere or UiPath, but then you will realize when it gets complicated, then you will see that why Power Automate is even better solution or a smoother solution. Error handling, something that we always do in any coding language or even in any automated flow. So yes, handling and retry logic should always be part of your automations. Try to document your process clearly before doing any POC on Power Automate. So most of us might be learning Power Automate so that if there is any costing involved in your current organization where you're working on UiPath or Automation Anywhere, and in case the costing is high and Power Automate seems to be a better solution, in all those scenarios, you need to understand how Power Automate is better and whether it is able to do your actual process in a better way. Is there going to be a financial benefit to that? So try to understand the process clearly and then move on with any migration activity if anyone is working on. Thoroughly test your automations in a safe environment before deployment. This is something that is generic and just a suggestion for everyone. Right now, since we are learning, we are free to do all kind of rough work while learning anything. So far, I hope it's clear to everyone who is here. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone? All right, thanks, guys. All right, finally, talking about the key takeaways from this session. So this is the final slide for my presentation here. So yeah, RPA transform work. We all know that. Yeah, it's highly efficient and reduces the cost. Power Automate currently has a great advantage over the other tools, and going forward, it would be much better with what we are seeing about the actions and all the new scenarios that are getting inside uh, the actual tool, new actions that are getting added up, the AI integrations and everything. And the examples that we will be covering in our actual course and everything, it will show you guys how to eliminate hours of manual work and human error. So it's ideal for every technical and non-technical person to go through the module and get started with this, and yeah, maybe learn a few things or two from this amazing tool. All right. So I hope it has went well so far with everyone. Thumbs up from at least a few would be great. Once again, great, great, great. Okay, guys. So this is more like an introductory lecture for Power Automate. So if anyone has any kind of query or any doubt that they would like to ask before we wrap this session up, yeah, we are free to take any questions from your side.
So one small doubt I have. So you're going to cover both the things, right? Desktop automation as well as the cloud, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, I joined a bit late, so I'm not sure if you covered this. What is duration of the course and
Hi.
for
Okay. Hi, Mani. So
weekend or
you're
weekday?
talking about the duration of the course, something like that, right?
Yeah, weekdays or weekend.
Okay. All right. So ideally, the just the lecture part of it would be more than 30 lectures. Okay. It would span across approximately more than 2 months. We'll be seeing what's the availability of everyone, and we'll be scheduling classes like couple of days a week and over the weekends. And after these lectures are done, we will also be working on some live projects. So it should go more than 2 months, the entire course. That's the module that we have currently. I hope that answers your question.
And so then how many live projects, end-to-end live projects that you are going to tell us?
Yeah, approximately 5 projects, I should say. It can be more than that as well. It all depends on, so whenever we have any course that is defined over a period of months, we see what all topics are people confident in and what all topics they are like they need more to work on. Okay, so if there is any topic, so suppose there is something related to image automation that people are not really confident in, then the entire project should focus on just the image automation, so that becomes an individual project on itself. But when people are confident across maybe a couple of topics, maybe you're confident in Excel and web automation and maybe emails, so we can club all three topics into a single project. So it should be minimum 5, I would say, but it would be covering all the topics that we are learning here.
Sure, got it.
Yeah,
And so you said that it will be 2 months course, right? So it will be
more
on
than that.
weekends or yeah, more than 2 months. Yeah, approximately 2 months or more than 2 months. So it will be on weekends or it will be on daily.
Yeah, so during weekdays it would be like 2 days, or sometimes it might be 3 days. Like we will share with you guys the actual schedule and everything. But on weekends it would be like longer classes, like 2 hour or 3 hour classes over the weekends. So most of the topics and most of the lectures would be happening over weekends, because weekdays most of us are working, right? So
Uh,
yeah, it won't be ideal that
yeah,
everyone.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Ansh. So I'll just add on to that. So firstly, with respect to the duration, right? So we are planning for like 30 hours of theoretical and practical, where Ansh probably will be telling you about his experience with the projects or that particular topic that what he has done in his projects, right? So that will go for probably like around 30 hours, right? So that will try to cover it in 50 days. And so remaining 5 to 10 hours, around 7 to 10 hours, will try to give you the projects. So you guys will be doing the projects, and Ansh will be just helping you out with the on aspects that basically wherever you're lacking, or whatever issue you're facing in the project precisely, right? So that he can help you out in the remaining hours, right? One is this. Second is with respect to the timings, we will be able to figure out precisely when we have the paid members, right after. So that we will figure it out next weekend, right? By next weekend we should be able to figure that out. It We usually carried out the sessions earlier on Saturday Sundays, mostly, but we will have like a 2 hours session on either Saturday or Sunday, and probably 2 to 3 hours on weekday, right? So that is our current planning, but we'll see as per the availability of everyone, right? So that is the thing.
And Ankush, one question I have. So, if we are going to do, like, we're going to create the bots in Power Automate, right? So, we'll be using the trial app one, access one, or like how it would
So
be.
trial definitely we will be using, right? Apart from that, if the budget is around, totally it costs us like 5,000 or so for a month, that we are okay with, right? But there
Mm-hmm.
are some, so that I'm yet to discuss with Anish exactly. But if it is, there are some aspects that cover that go on for like 30, 40K or something for that type of cost, right? So that definitely we won't be able to cover. So whatever comes as a minute costs, that we will definitely will bear, right? But
Mm-hmm.
for example, scheduling of the bots or those type of things that are really pricey, right? So that would be tough.
We can still show you guys how we are doing it, but you might not be able to do it at your end. That's what we are trying to explain.
But I believe for most of the part, I think desktop, so things are free of cost, right? The
Yeah,
community
desktop.
version
Yeah.
is free, right? So most of the things you would be able to do it free of cost, but and still, if some like AI builder or some things, if they cost like 5,000 or so, that we are happy to do it, right? So only things that are really going up ahead with 20,000 or 30,000, so that probably would be tough, right? So that, or either if you guys are really interested, and so that would be extra costing, and we have to see, right, about that. So we can plan that. But yes, till date we have thought of till the free community version, and the things that cost lower.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, hi Ansh. I have one question. Like all the uh, project will be real time projects or it will be normal projects?
It would be something that you might actually face in your job when you're working on that. So, as I gave an example a few minutes back of a PDF related task, right?
Yeah.
Almost every other person who is working in an RPA job has done that in one of the tools, one of the various tools. So, yes, it would be a real time project. And yeah, it would be scenarios that will be making up right then, and I would be asking suggestions with you guys as well. Okay, do you want to add any other action? Should we add something new to this, to the entire question? And then we will start with automating that. So it would be real world project, but yeah, it would be, there would be involvement of everyone while preparing that.
Okay. And like if we have doubt and all, doubt clearing classes, or you will take some extra time to clear those doubts?
Yeah, so once our and so during the lectures and when we are covering all the topics, that time also you can, if you have your doubt questions already, uh, like you are fine with your questions, you are ready with your question, you can ask that during the lecture as well, or when the lecture is completed each day. But after the entire course is completed also, I'll be assisting you guys with the projects. That time also you can ask it.
Okay. And just last question from my side. This Power Automate desktop and mm, cloud, if I complete, so there will be some assistant for PL 500 examination.
With the topics that we are covering, you will be completing most of the things that you need for that examination. But of course, because it is a certification,
Mm-hmm.
you need to go to their website and complete the courses present over there also, because most of the things in that examination are pretty objective, multiple choice based scenarios
Yeah,
and everything.
scenario based
Yeah, so
also.
it's ideal to give their mock test and cover their modules, because it would be like everything comes from their module itself. Like I have given it the examination, so it would be ideal to learn everything from the actual website.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
one question.
yeah, yeah.
On the power desktop and cloud, right? What extra we should know to
Okay,
to
you,
do
your
better
voice is
in
little
Power
bit
Automate?
low. Uh, Either you
Yes,
can
sir.
yeah, fix your mic, or
Yeah,
you can type in the chat also. Both is fine.
yeah. And so I was asking like, okay, so Power Desktop and Power Cloud is good, but if we want to, maybe some of these components in Power Automate, which are good to learn or can help us to stand, uh, you know, like stand out from the other RPA developers. What are those features, and will you cover those? I think there's some AI builder and all things we
Yes,
have. Like,
AI Builder is part of the course. So see, when we say Power Automate, we call it AI Builder. When we say automation here, we call it document automation. So it's like it's PDF PDF processing kind of through AI actions. So that is part of any RPA course that you will be taking. So yes, it is there in our course as well. Okay, and not just AI Builder. So you have to work on PDFs. There are
Mm.
many ways to process PDFs. Okay, so yes, the new actions that are covered in the Power Automate that are present in the Power Automate application as of now will be covered. But again, as Ankush mentioned, if there are some actions that are really costly and they are not present in the community edition, even if we teach you, even if I try to get my hands on those topics, I can explain you guys, but for you to perform at your level, it won't be possible. So if you need any specific topic that should be covered, we can take it after the entire module is covered. But you might not be able to do it at your local desktop level. Okay.
and how the recordings will be provided? And
Yeah,
how we have the
recordings are like
channel.
just like we are having the Zoom class right now. So it is getting
So
recorded.
with respect to recording, so we will have it on our YouTube channel, Direct IT Connect. Right,
Okay.
I'll share you
Yeah.
the link over here. So this session also would be present over there. Right, just a second. So I'll share you the link, right, for our YouTube channel. So
And can
we have done
mhm.
sessions earlier also, right? So earlier you can see the recordings by Rajneesh are uploaded on our channel, right? Not all the recordings we make it public, but definitely most of the recordings are public, right, on the channel. So you can go to our channel. Plus, would request you guys to be a part of our Power Automate training group so that you can have that so that we can do all the communication that we want to do. Yeah, you guys can go ahead. I mean, with whatever other queries you have.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to ask, like, can you provide a detailed course outline, like, or any content sheet of the course or something like that?
Yeah, of course. So I can share that with you guys later. So Ankush, I'll be sharing with you the modules and everything that will be
Sure.
covering in this, and then you can forward it to whoever is interested. You guys can register, and Ankush will be able to share all those details. Also, I saw two questions in the chat. One was from Harsh. The two flows, cloud and desktop, are they used for developing automations or for execution? So desktop flows will be totally used for development of the automation. Cloud flows will be used for both. So within a cloud flow, you can create an automation like all the if conditions, triggers, variable assignment. If you want it to be integrated to service bus, SharePoint, everything that is any other thing that is cloud based, you can make an automation out of it through the cloud flow. In addition to that, cloud flows can also be used to schedule different flows. So within the cloud flow, you can create automations and also use it for executions of various automations. There are different kinds of cloud flows actually. Based on that only, we are classifying what action we have to do. Next question said that as we have assistant in UiPath automation ecosystem, so what do we have in Power Automate? We have Copilot in Power Automate. It is still in the nascent stage. but it is uh, it is not as good as what we have in UiPath, but it's different kind of good. So when you start making an automation, you can just tell the Copilot assistant that you want to make an Excel automation where you have to launch a Excel file and then read through all the actions and print everything in a message box. Suppose you just write this much as a prompt in Copilot, it will actually create an RPA flow for you as well. So that kind of functionality it already has.
Actually, the assistant in UiPath means it's a central place for running all the workflows.
You're
So
talking
is
about
there?
a control room kind of thing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we have that in Power Automate as well. So, and no generic name for it, but you can call it a Power Automate control room directly.
It's accessible in browser only, right?
Yeah, browser only. It's not accessible on desktop level. Yeah, click up cloud based. Yes, correct. The control room is cloud based.
And one last question from my end. So once we complete the course, right? So will you take any kind of mock interviews or something like that?
As of now, that is not there in the curriculum of taking mock interviews. This is more of a training. So maybe I can check with Ankush if that kind of requirement is coming for most of the students. We can look into that as well.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
All right, I think that would be all for this session. Uh,
Okay, guys, and I have shared you the group link, right? So we will be doing all the communication with respect to the course inside this group, right? And basically, with respect to the, I think, Ansh, you can stop. You can save it on the cloud. Uh, Ansh, you're there?
yeah. You're
No
talking about
problem. Take
saving
your
the
time.
recording, right?
Yeah. You can stop it. I mean, while stopping it, you can just give it that it has to be saved on